There's only a few days left before the big CrossWorlds Grand Prix, and it's going to take a lot more than just mashing on the accelerator if you want to win. Whether it's drifting through tight corners, pulling off stunts, or just making the most of those power-ups, there's a lot more to coming in first than just going fast. I'm Jett, no not that one, and buckle up because today I'm going to teach you how to win. Now if you've seen anything about CrossWorlds, you'll know that gadgets are the name of the game. If you want to hit that podium, you're going to need a real solid setup. But with over 70 gadgets to choose from, it's kind of overwhelming to know where to start. And while I could probably make a whole video on this alone, and I probably will, if you are looking for a good starting combo, start with Air Trick Expert, Air Trick Adept, Air Trick Bounty, and Drift Charge Up. This is a good old fashioned reliable gadget setup. Is it the best? Maybe, maybe not. But unlike a lot of gadget setups, this one isn't just a cheap gimmick. You'll pretty much always be taking advantage of it. Air Trick Expert and Air Trick Adept will make sure all of your tricks are much faster, meaning you'll be getting better trick boosts by doing more tricks, as well as more trick boosts by doing tricks on jumps that everyone else can. Add on to this Air Trick Bounty to give you more rings for every trick you do, will make sure you're getting plenty of rings and plenty of boosts. And while you aren't doing tricks, Drift Charge Up will make sure you'll be charging all of your drift boosts much faster. This applies to both plane and boat forms as well. This, in combination with air trick buffs, makes both forms so much better, as you can charge your jumps much quicker and get more tricks out of every jump as well. Now let's talk about items. I'm not going to sit here and explain every single one of them to you, because you probably already got the idea. This is a rocket, this is a shield, and I know you know what this one is. Instead, let's talk about the ones I keep seeing misplayed. First up we have the slicer, the slime, and the weight. Now it's not so much how you use these items that I see the mistakes with, rather what happens afterwards. What do all these items have in common? They make you drop your items, and not just lose them, they literally drop onto the track behind you, so the person following you can scoop them up. So here's the rule, if you see that red ring, or your cart being sawn in half, dump your items as quickly as you can. Even if it's a complete whiff, it's still better than handing up power-ups to the guy on your tail. A wasted item is better than one used against you. And then there's this little guy. He sometimes pops out of the red ring as well. He sucks. What does he do, you ask? He scrambles everyone's items. Cool, right? Not really. If you're empty, he'll just give you some. Unsurprisingly, giving out extra items doesn't really help you too much. But there's no way to know if it's this guy or one of the other items coming out of that red ring. Could you imagine bluffing someone into wasting all their defensive items only to get hit by a weight the moment afterwards and lose the race? This definitely didn't happen to me several times in a row. Next up we have the White Wisp. These give you a small boost of speed and can be used to take grass cuts over rough terrain. These can also be used to dodge red rings. So I know it's tempting to immediately press the boost button as soon as you see him, but maybe hold on to him for just a little bit. And lastly, while we're talking about items, if you're sick of spending the whole race getting completely pounded by everyone, try swap to a power type vehicle. It's not going to stop everyone throwing everything at you, but at the very least you'll have a much better recovery time than on an extreme gear. Alright, let's talk drifting, the bread and butter of any good kart racer. Perfecting drifting is really one of those things that will separate the new players from the good players. Drifting isn't just for style points though, it's how you build boost, take those sharp corners, and it will really put you above the competition. The key is to start your drift early. Don't wait until you're already hugging the corner, but instead tap into it just before the turn and adjust your angle to take it as tightly as possible. You'll be shocked how much extra time you'll stack up, even just getting to grips with taking sharper turns. Once you nail that timing, suddenly you're flying out of the corners while everyone else is slamming into the wall. And on the subject of slamming into the walls, don't be greedy with your boosts. Holding it for a little bit longer to increase your boost level is fine, but don't go holding it for ages to get to level 3. It isn't worth it. You're normally much better off settling for a level 2 boost than forcing a level 3. Especially if it throws out your next turn, or you start bumping into the wall. Else you're just going to be throwing away all that extra time. And this goes for chaining drifts too. Just because you can chain your drift, doesn't always mean you need to. Sometimes it's just better to let go of drift, boost, and adjust for the next turn. But you already know all this, so let's take your drifting up a gear. First off,
take the foot off the accelerator!
Sorry, I had to channel my inner Joe Barbaro for a moment there. If you're struggling to keep your corners sharp, let go of accelerate for just a second. Trust me, it will help a lot and stop you losing so much time on those tighter turns. Second, if you're already at max drift boost, don't hold it. Try comboing your drift boost into another drift. Let go for just a second and then boost straight into a second drift. Sneaking in these extra drifts will give you an edge. Just make sure you've got enough handling stat for this though, or you're going to make all your turns super wide. Now let's talk about rings. These are very important as they're your ticket to more speed. Like coins in Mario Kart, every ring you grab adds a little boost to your stats, and once you've maxed out, you'll be flying past everyone who ignored them. You'll want to grab as many as you can early in the race, especially on the first lap, because the sooner you hit that speed bonus, the more time you've got to keep the lead. Even if you just top yourself up after taking a hit, can make the difference between holding first or getting swallowed into the pack. You might not notice the difference straight away, but when someone pulls away using that extra speed, you'll notice very quickly. And now you know to grab rings, the tricky part is not wasting time grabbing rings. Don't swerve wildly across the track for just one or two, you'll lose more time than you gain. And don't fall for the trick of rings right after an item box if you're still with the pack. Nothing stings more than slowing yourself down to grab more rings, only to get hit and lose all your rings anyway. On top of this, keep an eye on what lap you're on. On the third lap, they'll add more rings and even 100 rings. An easy way to top yourself back up if you've been taking a battering. But equally as important as getting rings is stopping your rivals building a healthy supply of rings. Hitting them to make them drop their rings is obviously a top priority, but if you can leave traps by large clusters of rings, or even just grab them yourself on the way past, you'll be putting your rivals in a much worse position. Finally, let's talk about the most important and best way of getting good at any kart racer: time trials. Yes, I know these are boring, but here's the thing. If you want to get good, and I mean really good, you can't just rely on the online races. Time trials is where you actually learn the tracks. No items, no chaos, no hundreds of monster trucks running you over for touching the controller. It's just you, the course, and figuring out the fastest lines. CrossWorlds even goes a step further by giving you a basic racing line to follow while doing time trials. These aren't the best lines, but it's a good start. Think of this as your own personal training ground. Nail your drifts, test the shortcuts, and get a feel for when and where to boost. Then when you're back in a real race, you'll know exactly how to handle every corner. And the secret weapon here? Ghost data. Racing against a ghost, whether it's your own best time or someone faster, lets you see exactly where you're losing speed, missing shortcuts, or even just taking bad lines. Back when I was playing Crash Team Racing, I learned about air braking through watching Ghost data. Look at this shortcut in Baby Park, again something I learned through watching Ghost datas. Even in Sonic CrossWorlds, you really think I figured this out by myself? Instead of just guessing what you could do better, you've got a literal blueprint in front of you. Follow the ghosts, study their tricks, and then start shaving seconds off your own time. Before long, you'll be the ghost that everyone else is chasing. The trick though is to not just mindlessly copy the ghost. Use it as a guide, but don't be afraid to change things to fit your own playstyle. Unless you're going for world records, you don't really need to copy the world champion one-to-one. Maybe they take a risky shortcut that you can't quite hit yet. Skip it for now and focus on the basics. Over time, as you get more confident, you can always start adding those tougher tricks back into your runs. Think of ghosts as teachers, but not rules. You're learning their moves, then finding your own rhythm. And there we have it. Hopefully these tips help you snag a few more wins out there. Maybe you knew all this and I've just wasted your time though. Who knows? But let's face it, you're only killing time till the game comes out anyway. Actually, I do have one more tip for you. Did you know that if you like and subscribe the video, they'll just give you a first place trophy? Crazy, right? You'll just have to try it to find out.